What the president said, though, was systemic failure, bigger than one guy dropping the ball, or at least from what he seems to know.
And new concerns tonight about a popular procedure, the CT scan. The test uses radiation to see inside our bodies, and its use has grown dramatically.
President Obama is expecting a preliminary report tomorrow on the Christmas Day terror attack on a Northwest jet headed for Detroit. That flight originated, of course,
Well, joining us now, passengers Kurt and Lori Haskell, who told authorities about a remarkable scene they witnessed at the gate in Amsterdam. Also with us tonight is Rochelle Keatman, who was on board that flight. Walk us through what you saw in Amsterdam.
Sure. Lori and I were sitting near the boarding gate, sitting on the floor. There weren't any seats to sit in. And I saw two men, and they caught my eye because they seemed to be an odd pair. One was what I would describe as a poor-looking black teenager around 16 or 17, and the other man, a age 50-ish, wealthy-looking Indian man, and I was just wondering why they were together. Kind of strange. And I watched them approach what I would call the ticket agent, the final person that checks your boarding pass before you get on the plane. And I could hear the entire conversation. The only person that spoke was the Indian man, and what he said was, this man needs to board the plane, but he doesn't have a passport. And the ticket agent responded, well, if he doesn't have a passport, he can't get on the plane. To which the Indian man responded back, he's from Sudan, we do this all the time. And the ticket agent said, well, then you'll have to go and talk to my manager. And she directed them down a hallway. And that was the last time that I saw the Indian man, and the black man I didn't see again until he tried to blow up our plane.
When we talk about screenings at the airport and other protective mechanisms along the way, what should we be doing that clearly we're not?
Well, Campbell, the strategy recognizes that there's always going to be human error in any system. You can't count on perfection. And that's why we built a strategy at the Department of Homeland Security of what we call layered security. A number of different layers, so that even if one fails, another one gets picked up. It's complicated here, of course, because the actual screening took place overseas, where the U.S. ability to control what goes on is obviously not the same as it is here. But there are a few things we could do to make things better. First, we could deploy the scanning machines that we currently are beginning to deploy in the U.S. that would give us the ability to see what someone has concealed underneath their clothing. That has been vigorously opposed by the ACLU and privacy advocates. The House of Representatives voted to prevent us from using it. But I think now there's been a very vivid lesson in the value of that machinery.
Okay, can I stop you there for a second? I know you've been an advocate of this technology for a long time.
Correct.
But just in the interest of full disclosure, I also want to point out in your current role as a security consultant, you are representing some of the companies who manufacture that technology, correct?
Absolutely correct, yeah.
Okay.
age 50-ish, wealthy-looking Indian man, and I was just wondering why they were together.
And as you can imagine, as a result of that, makers of security devices and biometric technologies soared today in global trading. Here you can see ICX Technologies up 35%, L3 Communications up 1.5%, and OSI Systems rising as well. Here 10%, all rising as the push for full-body scanners at airports continues to gain momentum.